Question 63 through 65 are all based on this little mini passage right here. It says a typical human liver cell can have over 90,000 insulin receptors. Due to a genetic difference, some people have liver cells that contain only about 1,000 insulin receptors. So first, we're using our knowledge of biology to say why receptors are important in cell communication. So if you remember, receptors are those little proteins that stick out of the surface of the cell membrane, and their job is to receive messages or get messages from other cells. Typically, the messages are in the form of hormones. So if you take a look, the answer key here says receptors receive messages sent by other cells, or they enable them to respond appropriately. I like the first answer better. Now we're going to go to 64. Describe the importance of the shape of a receptor molecules for carrying out their function. So again, this is your knowledge of biology. Remember, just like enzymes and substrates, receptors and hormones are also shape specific. So they need to be a specific shape in order to receive their message. So here we've got receptor molecules have specific shapes that influence how they interact with other molecules. So as long as you say something about the shape matching or the receptor and the messenger fitting together, you've got it locked in. And the last part of that question is to 65. Identify one effect a reduced number of insulin receptors might have on an individual. Again, you don't really even need to have read this background. You just need to know what is insulin, what does insulin do, and what would a lack of insulin create, what problem would a lack of insulin receptors create. So insulin is a hormone, right? And the purpose of insulin is to control your blood sugar levels. So if you were less able to receive messages from insulin, that means you're going to be not as good at regulating blood sugar levels. So some possible ways to say that are that it might result in high levels of glucose in the blood or the urine. If you take the extra step and you know that high blood glucose is called diabetes, you could say that the person may end up being diabetic from that change. You might say that less glucose will go into the cells, being specifically the liver cells that have the less receptors. Or you could say the blood glucose level will not be controlled. So just a very general umbrella term for it. But either way, you need to know that receptors are shape specific, the hormones fit into the specific receptor, and the message that insulin carries is about blood sugar regulation. So that is that for questions 63 through 65.